Well, good morning, TikTok. Ed here from Figure Repair. So, great question here. You got a vehicle that's been sitting for a hot minute. What do you do? Now, there are things that are specific here to the 6.0, and then there's some things here that are just common knowledge and general stuff. But what's common to one person isn't common to the next, so just hang in there. Certainly, in a conventional vehicle, you want to check the batteries and verify that they're okay. The last thing that you want to do, though, in a 6.0 is just go ahead and crank on it and, well, let's see if it starts. I can almost promise you do that, you're going to become my customer for the FICM. So let's avoid that for you. Step one, charge the batteries, get them in solid shape, check the connections, make sure there's no, blue fuzzy stuff around there. Grab some baking soda and some water. Watch the chemical reaction unfold before your eyes. As far as cleaning up the terminals and stuff, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just try it. You'll see. Sprinkle some baking soda on there, pour a little bit of water on there, and just watch. And then just clean it all off when you're done. So that's the first thing. Charge the battery. Make sure the batteries are good, okay? Fully charged battery, just sitting, should be 12.7 volts. If you want to, at this point, belts and suspenders. If you have a CCA tester, by all means, put it on there. If you don't, go ahead and yank the FICM's relay and do a poor man CCA test and just go key on, engine off, and see, but that's it. Step one, yank the FICM relay. Step two, go key on, engine off, and see what your batteries drop to. If they drop below 11.8, you got to do something with the batteries. So, please keep that in mind. So after you verified the condition of the batteries, you're going to go ahead and you're going to shut off the ignition. Fine. You're going to check the oil level, check the coolant level, verify that you don't have condensation issues, anything like that. Recognize, though, that there's a little bit of, pH is a thing and condensation is a thing. And so you might decide that you want to go ahead and change the oil, but you might decide that that's a little bit too much belts and suspenders as well. But I would yank the air box, the cold air intake, and I would check inside there for any kind of nesting of little critters that decided that they were looking for a warm and fuzzy home this winter kind of thing. Before you did anything there, the last thing you'll do is suck something up in there. And just do an overall check for, that kind of thing. I'd also go ahead and check the tires, and let's verify the tires are not dry rotted, no issues with that. Check the inflation pressures, all the everythings. Now, with this list behind you, you might decide that this is adequate, and and maybe it is. If you want to belts and suspenders it before you actually try to start, maybe you want to go ahead and change your fuel filters or at least check their condition. Dirty fuel, all bad for injectors. And maybe you want to check your fuel pressure, key on, engine off. And normally, if everything's copacetic and lovely, key on, engine off, fuel pressure is like 62, 63 psi. But recognize that inadequate fuel pressure kills injectors, and wouldn't that be a travesty if this thing tries to start with less than stellar fuel pressure because, again, somebody got in there and chewed a wire or something, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, doesn't matter, that you're just not in a good spot. Then you've done all this. Go ahead and start it. Just let it idle. Let it warm up. Go for a leisurely drive. Get it up to operating temperature, all that kind of stuff. Shut it down. See, after you shut it down, well, first of all, when it's running, what's your battery voltage? What's, just all the readings, right? Am I copacetic and good here? What's my injection control pressure PSI? What's my injection control pressure voltage? What's my IPR duty cycle? When you first start it up, it should be about 30%. It should drop to about 23. Then you go for a spin, going through all the gears, does it shift nice? All the things you would do when you're just checking a vehicle. And then after it's at operating temperature and everything's copacetic and wonderful, then just go ahead and drive it progressively more vigorously, I'll say, and let's see if the vanes are sticking. If the vanes are sticking, recognize you can probably get them to unstick a whole lot of times without taking the turbo apart by just dogging on it every once in a while. Just to go from nothing to full throttle to off and full throttle and off. Get those vanes trying to move, and all of a sudden you'll feel when they open, you're like, holy buckets, that's so much better. Or you might end up just having to take the turbo apart and cleaning it up and putting it back together again. It's not that hard. There's a rebuild kit available on FICMRepair.com. But start with the batteries. That way you're not our customer for the FICM, and follow this list, and you'll be in good shape. All right? Comments, questions, something I missed, put them in there, and we'll go from there. Any other videos, by all means, add them in the comments, and as I get time, I'll shoot a video on it. All right? Thanks very much. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. Appreciate you guys.